Good morning, grade 6. Today, inshallah, we will be doing a revision for math. This is a revision worksheet. I will be giving it to you, inshallah. You have to download it and then print it in order to answer it with me, inshallah. So, today, the first question here in the math worksheet is about the number line, and we have took the number line in the integers lesson. Remember the integers lesson? We have took a lot of definitions in it. We have took the positive numbers are on those are greater than 0, and we took the negative numbers who are less than the 0. What do I mean by opposite number? It's the number that has an opposite sign. So if we are talking about 3, I ask you to give me the opposite of 3, you would tell me it's -3, right? And then we have discussed together what do we mean by the absolute value of a number, and we said that the absolute value means to remove the sign, the negative sign, and that the absolute value can never be negative, cannot be negative. So what else we have took in the math? We have took drawing angles lesson, drawing and measuring angles, and we have took the third lesson, which was the geometric ideas and the relationship between the lines, the line relationships, whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or they are intersecting. Okay, so those are the 3 lessons where inshallah we're going to revise today in our worksheet. The first question here, it's asking you to mark the points on the number line. So here we are marking the points. The first point is 0 here. It's the 0 point, okay? And then it asks you to mark -1. So -1 is here marked in yellow. And then it asks you to mark -3. -3 is marked in yellow as well. And -5, the last one is -5. The last one on the negative side is -5. Now it asks you as well to mark the 2. Here is it marked, and the 4 and the 7. Just marking the points on the number line. Now here, use the number line below to find the integer for each point. Then give its opposite and absolute value. I have already written here for you. Those are the letters C, H, A, and J. So it asks you here to just look for the number line and see zeros here. So what comes after 0? 1, 2, 3, 4. So A, of course, has to be 4. A is 4 and J is 7. Count after the A, 5, 6, and J is 7. And then you have -1 here on the other side, -2, -3, and H is -4, -5, -6, -7, and C is -8. Okay, now it asks you to get the opposite and absolute values. So what's the opposite of 7? Let's start with A first. What's the opposite of 4? We have to put the negative sign because we want the opposite, so it will be -4. And what's the absolute value of 4? It's 4 as well. So here is it. The number is 4, the integer of A is 4, and the opposite is -4. The absolute of 4 is 4. Now let's go for H. H is already -4. -4. I want the opposite of -4. We're going to put the opposite sign, which is positive, so it will be 4, and the absolute of -4 is 4. Of course, the absolute number is -4, the opposite of 4 is 4, and the absolute of -4 is 4. We have to put whatever comes between those 2 columns. Remember those 2 columns? Whatever comes inside them, and then we want it to go out, it will be positive with a positive sign. Whatever comes from the absolute value can never be negative at all. Now let's go for J. J is 7, and 7, this is the integer. Okay, what's the opposite of 7? We have to put the negative sign. And what's the absolute of 7? 7 as well. So the integer is 7, the opposite is negative 7, and the absolute of 7 is 7. The last one, which is negative 8, C, negative 8. What's the opposite of negative 8? The opposite of negative 8, of course, has an opposite sign, so it will be positive 8. And the absolute of negative 8, whatever comes inside the negative 8 and comes between the absolute columns, will go out as positive. So the answer will be positive 8 for the absolute value. Now the next question, draw the angle for the following measure. Okay, all those measures, 50, 120, 90, and 180, and then we're gonna name whether they are acute, obtuse, straight, or right. So the first one I cannot actually draw here, so I'm going to go directly for the hard point. The first one here is 50 degree, and we said 50 degree is actually an acute angle. Why? Because it's less than 90. It's less than 90. So what we did here, we just started from here, from the middle of the protractor. We just went to the 0 on one side, and then we counted 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We stopped at 50 and we drew a line as well, and we named this angle as 50 degree angle, and it's an acute angle. Now let's go for the next one, which is 120. 120 degree measure. We'll start from the middle of the protractor. We will draw a line, whether you're going to draw it on the left or right side, both are correct, and then we're going to count 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, 90, 110 until we reach 120, and then we're gonna draw a line as well. You have to draw it with not with your hand, but you have to draw it with a ruler, and then we name this as obtuse angle. Why? Because obtuse is bigger than 90 degree measure, so whatever is between bigger than 90 and less than 180, we name it as obtuse angle. Now the third question is the 90 degree, and we know of course that the 90 degree we name it a right angle. Right angle. So we start from the middle of the protractor, we draw a line towards the 0, and we counted 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 until we reached the 90. We draw a line and we name this as right angle. 180 is a straight angle, of course. Why? Because we started from the 0. Again, we started from the middle of the protractor going towards the 0. We counted 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 110, 130, 150, 160, 170, 180. So we have done a full, like a half circle, right? So yes, we call this straight angle. It's 180 measure degree. 180 degree. So now we have answered before the last question. Now we will go to the last question. It says use the diagram at the right and name the following. Using the diagram, this diagram, and name the following. It asks you to name 2 points. Whereas actually we took this one. Where did we take this lesson or this diagram? We took it in geometric ideas. Go back for this lesson, geometric ideas lesson. You will find exactly everything in details. So it asks you for 2 points. We have so many points here, right? We have E, H, Y, F, B, G, A, G, whatever. So I can choose A and choose G. Those are 2 good points. Any points, okay? Any points you can see, you can just write it. Now it asks you for a line segment. We have said together that a line segment is actually a part of the line. This is a full line going on and on in both directions. It doesn't end. But a line segment is only a part of the line. A line segment is a part of the line. So here xy is a line, right? A part of xy is GH. GH is this part. From G to H is line segment. It's part of a line and we named it as line segment. So I can put it here in yellow for you. So GH here, this part is a line segment because it's a part of the full, this part GH is a part of the full line, and we can say here that a part of the line, we name it as a line segment. Now it asks you to provide array. What's array? Array has endpoint on one side and an arrow on the other side. Let's go here to see. Of course, we have CD here. It has an arrow on one side and has an endpoint on the other side. So CD, we can, CD is a array. CD is a array. What about a line? Any line here. We have so many lines here. AB is a line, EF is a line, XY is a line. You can choose any one and just put it. I have put for you EF, which is a line as well. Now it asks for an intersecting ray. Do we have any other ray here except this one? We have CD, it's a ray, and it's actually intersecting with AB. CD is intersecting with AB. So an intersecting ray is CD. What about an intersecting line? Intersecting line is AB and it's intersecting with XY, right? And intersecting with EF. Why EF? Because if we are actually going to elongate this one and elongate this one as well, sorry, if you elongate them, they are going to intersect okay. If you are going to elongate this line and elongate this one as well, just keep drawing it, they are going to meet here, right? So they could be intersecting as well. They will intersect. One day they're going to intersect if we elongate them. So I don't want you to get inside of this. I don't mean you to get inside to details, but just know that yes, AB is intersecting with XY and intersecting with EF as well. I just want one intersecting line. We can say it's AB. Okay. Now what are the perpendicular lines we have here? We only have those perpendicular lines, which are EF is perpendicular to XY. What do we mean by perpendicular to? They have to make a right angle here. Remember, in order to say that they are perpendicular to each other, they have to make a right angle, which measures 90 degree. There has to be a 90-degree angle measurement in order to say that they are making perpendicular lines. So yes, here there is a 90-degree angle measurement. EF is perpendicular to XY. EF is perpendicular to XY. So now this is our revision for today. I hope you understood clearly and it helped you and it was beneficial. I'm going to provide it to you inshallah in order for you to be able to print it and put your answers and answer it with yourself and staple it in your book. See you inshallah next time. Thank you very much.